Little insider tip is back in the shop today. We're starting a new project, obviously being surrounded by parts, some boxes behind me, and you guess it, another C8. This one being a Z06. A little history here. This is a client, Matt. He owns a Lakeshore window tint. They do a window tint and also some PPF. Matt wrapped his own car, this time in a satin black, and he brought it to us to customize it for him. So we're gonna kind of put the finishing touches on it for him with our label exhaust. You guys have seen that in lots of episodes. You're gonna hear this one screams. One of our friends who's always around town, they catch him at every meet revving it. It sounds amazing. So I'm excited to give you the transformation of the stock exhaust back to our label titanium exhaust. And then obviously we have some carbon aero for the front. Up front here underneath the car, we're gonna do the clear taillights, and we got a bunch of really great cars from RSC supplying us with their GTZ diffuser. We're gonna do a lower lip wing, carbon mirror covers, and then the side skirts. We're also gonna lower the car over the Vossen hybrid forged wheels that are already on it. Overall, I think the car will really be transformed from a pretty dull satin black car, which everybody's seen, to giving it some accent and some personality with the sound and the carbon fiber added to it. Hopefully Matt will be as happy with this car as he was with this C8 that we built for him a couple years ago. I've got the rears adjusted. We usually go up about 5 from the base, reattach everything, and then what we actually do is we mark how many threads that we left. So if we ever adjust in the future, we know where to go from there. Justin, in the meantime, has the front suspension off of the car over on the spring compressor, and we're swapping in our Paragon lower collars so that they work with the nose lift. Once those go back in, then we can continue to work on the rest of the exterior of the car, also get the exhaust out of the car, make some progress. In the meantime, while he's doing that, I'm gonna work on continuing the disassembly of the rear bumper, working on our diffuser, our new rear wing, and also our clear taillights.
We're working on the suspension on the Z06 right now. We're gonna be doing what we always do with these Z06s is the Paragon lowering collars. So we disassemble the entire coil over, put the collar on, which replaces this collar here, lowers it 3/4 of an inch, reassemble everything, put it back in the car. Andy already got the rears lowered, so all I have to do is disassemble this, put it back together.
as we continue to break down the rear bumper, there's a couple things on the RSC diffuser that we're going to reuse. It will be these 4 screens here. Now in the past when we used it, we tried to reuse the factory hardware. It does not accept the factory hardware. I think it comes with some clips and some hardware for itself. If they've changed anything, then maybe we can use those. In the meantime, I'm also going to break down this factory rear wing. It does have a bunch of 10 mils on the underside, but it's also attached with double-sided tape. So we'll get our fish line, run it through there, and then we'll actually have to prep that top for the new wing before we put the new wing on. I'll be able to get the taillights in, no issue, and then hopefully swap over that diffuser. I'll have Justin give me a hand once I get the grills on that. Moving along well. I'm gonna finalize the front spoiler and canard install. It's always great to have a second set of hands. Justin and I have done this so many times, kind of have a routine, but with every single one, there are some quirks that we have to learn along the way. And this one was no exception. When we had everything on it for the first time, we liked the way everything clipped in, but it was a little tight fitting and we didn't like necessarily how our carbon aligned with the factory bumper. So we removed it, opened up all the holes again, cut some tabs and then refit, and it fit perfectly the way that we like it, aligned everything just the way that it is. Canards look great, looks like a OEM installation. And I think with the satin black, it'll really pop on the front end once we get it back on the car. So really happy with the way this turned out. Again, another factory Z07 front end done. And we're gonna move on to the side skirts and get that rear bumper back on along with that new exhaust. We dropped the factory exhaust. Obviously it's that big ugly monstrosity up there, and we've got our label exhaust here ready to go on the car. Now just a little fun fact, we decided to be a little lazier on this one and try to drop everything from the bottom. And I know guys do it all the time. We do not like to do it that way because every time we do it from the bottom, it takes longer than if you actually took the time to remove the trunk assembly and the airbox cover. Noted. I think I tried to do this once a couple of years ago. Didn't work out as planned. This time it didn't work out as planned as either. I think it took double the amount of time because we dropped a wrench down in the cradle, and then next thing you know, you're searching for it for 30, 45 minutes, and we've wasted a bunch of time. So we took the shortcut and ended up being the long cut. Now let's get the good part back on the car, which is the exhaust. Got the taillights in, the diffuser, all of our grille screens, everything is in place. Now we're just gonna get it back on the car and start to fit everything. Little insider tip is what we traditionally do is pre-tension these clamps so that you're not having to tighten it down for the first time on the car, which sometimes moves your tip quite a bit. We've learned that through 46,342 sets of tips installed here at Label. So let's make it a little easier. As we're getting closer to getting the car put completely back together, I want to show you guys the difference between two skirts that we are installing on the car. So you're looking at the factory side skirt. Everybody's familiar with this. It comes in carbon from the factory as well. This one's carbon flash. These are the extended RSC side skirts. They give you a little more length on them and also a little more exposure on the front edge, which I think gives the car a little more aggressive look out front. So if you see these two side by side, you can see there is quite a bit of difference. They are going to reuse the factory mounting points, and it looks like they have some provisions in the bottom to attach to the bottom of the car as well. So we'll see how those align once we get them on the car, but it should be a pretty straightforward install and give us a good look on the side profile. A little trick when you're installing side skirts with a lot of these pre-drilled holes for the fasteners, never tighten anything up until you have all your fasteners in the location. What you'll end up finding out is like sometimes these holes will need to be opened up. That's pretty routine for us, even on the wide bodies. What we'll do is we'll loosely just finger tight, not even finger tight, but just get the fastener started in the hole, and then we'll see where the part positions on the body. And then if there's any adjustment that's needed at that point, we'll adjust the skirt or front splitter, whatever it is, to where it needs to be. And then we'll notice if any of the holes need to be clearanced to get the perfect fitment. That's how we clearance them. So every part we do that with it is a little more tedious, takes a little more time, but that's how you get the really good fitment. Side skirts went on very nicely. I think they're gonna look great when we get the car down. Now what I'm going to do is work on our rear diffuser. So this rear diffuser has a really cool closeout panel underneath that you won't see. It's going to replace this little flimsy factory plastic piece. So this actually continues the strakes that we see up here at the leading edge of the diffuser, and it continues them underneath the car. So it will actually bolt into this place, replacing that panel completely, kind of giving it a very much functional aerodynamic rear diffuser. So I'm going to work on transferring these clips and then get that bolted on the bottom side. That'll finalize the closeout shield underneath, and as you can see, it retains all of the factory fasteners, attaches nicely to our rear diffuser, making a really solid rigid mount, continuing that strakes underneath the car. So really well built piece, and I think it's really going to add some look to the car along with some function. We've got the car down on the ramps because it is lowered, and now we have to start it for the first time. Now, we didn't let you hear the car stock because why? Well, you've heard a stock Z06 how many times? How about here? How about over here? And who can forget this one? Right. So now we're just gonna let you hear the label exhaust. First start up inside, it's gonna echo, it's gonna be loud, so keep your complaints to yourself. Justin's in the cabin, fire in the hole. This is going to conclude the satin black Z06 project for Matt. He's on his way over right now. It's raining out, so we're not going to take the car outside, but wanted to give you a quick walk around and show you guys how the car turned out. I think he's going to be really happy with it. I know we're really happy with it. We did run all the RSC components as far as the rear diffuser, the duckbill, and the extended side skirts, which I think gives the car a really unique look. You don't really see the low wing with a Z07 front end often. And then I think paired with the satin black and the bronze wheels, it really kind of looks unique. Lowering the car made a big difference too. When we brought it in, obviously you remember those original pictures, the car sat up kind of high, which is traditional for the cars, and lowering it just makes it kind of flow a lot better. We did talk about the Z07 front end. We did do the full Z07 conversion with the front canards. This is our kit, the last one I think we had here at the shop. He was lucky enough to scoop that up off of us and fit it to his car. And then in the back side, you guys all know our exhaust. I think he was also the lucky recipient of the last label quad tip Z06 exhaust, which to me kind of complements the rear end perfectly with the clear taillights that we installed, kind of bringing everything all together. Now coupled with the wrap that he performed on the car, us lowering it, doing the full carbon exhaust, the wheel package, everything really looks great, and hopefully he'll be as happy with this project as we are. Stay tuned. We're gonna have a ton more Corvette content because we got Corvettes coming out of our ears, but we also have some special things behind the camera that are happening, along with some new cars that just got dropped off.